Whether you are a fresher or an experienced professional looking for a job, the first point of contact, communication between your prospective employer and you is your resume. And that is why it is extremely important that your resume presents a top-notch picture about your professional self. It is easier said than done. There are hundreds of templates out there and thousands of different ways of constructing a resume. A lot of us at some point or the other in our careers find a challenge, a difficulty as to how should we construct our resume to present the best picture of ourselves, especially for freshers who are just getting into the field, who do not really have any qualitative experience and still want to land up that job. In the post-COVID era, your resume is going to become even more important. In this video, I am going to share such tips and tricks, do's and don'ts, and also going to show you a format, how exactly you should be constructing your resume, how long should it be, what should be included, what should be excluded, how should it look. Even so, I will also be giving you a format where you can go edit and make your own resume. If you decide to stay till the end of this video, I will also be giving you some pro tips on how to make your resume stand out, all for free of cost. Now, before I move ahead, if you like this video, if you like this concept and want me to continue making videos on interview series, then please hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please click that red button, subscribe button. It is for free. I will continue to bring such career related videos for all the audience. Also, I have already uploaded a few videos on how you can work from home and earn money without any investment or without any time commitment. Do check that out if you haven't yet. Resume writing is an art, isn't it? And that is why there are websites, there are service providers who charge a bomb to make a good resume. But actually speaking, you are the one who knows the most about yourself. Instead of feeding that information to somebody else, what if I told you, I will make you realize what you need to write, understand what you need to write, and also give you the format in which you can fill up. On my screen, you can see one of the templates that I have taken inspiration from the so many templates that are available out there and tried to put in important sections that are a must for any person, whether a fresher or an experienced professional who's trying to get a job. In this video, I will be discussing about how an experienced person should be filling in all these columns and also how an experienced person should ideally be filling them. Now, to get started with the topmost section where I have asked you to place a photograph and your name in a different style. Now, it is not very important to have your photograph, honestly speaking, but it does add some amount of color. Having said that, any which ways, most of the recruiters, if not all, have a face-to-face round with the prospective employee or the prospective candidate, and that is why having a photograph or not having a photograph does not create too much of a difference. But then I would recommend you do that and give your resume that bit of extra color. The second section is your personal contacts. Well, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. However, there are a couple of things that you need to remember over here. The first thing is with your email ID. You know what my first email ID was? It was crazyarihant000. Now, that is certainly not the kind of email ID I would want to put on my resume. Get a standard, a professional email ID. Now, most of the name email IDs would have been taken. So construct something that is much more professional. It is trimmed. Do not put things like crazy or brilliant or superb or such adjectives which do not sound very professional. Have a good email ID, and the email that you're going to use, ensure that there are not too many spam mails coming into it so that you can know when an organization is contacting you. The second thing that you need to keep in mind, especially in the COVID era, is to have a Skype ID, because most likely your interview is going to be virtual, that is online, and that is why having a Skype ID upfront will already inform the HR or the recruiter that you have the Skype ID ready and they can very easily connect to you. So that is why create a Skype ID. It is very easily downloadable on your mobile or on your laptop, and you can very simply create an ID for Skype. Also, nowadays it is a trend to add in LinkedIn or Twitter accounts or any other social media pages where you are in professional capacity. Don't put a Twitter account where you have posted rubbish, where you have posted political posts, where you have posted offensive posts. If you have done that, please delete all of them, whether it is LinkedIn or Twitter. Because nowadays a lot of prospective employers, they actually log in or they actually check out the profiles of prospective recruitees or candidates to ensure that, to understand rather than ensure, to understand what kind of background do their prospective candidates have. So it is extremely important to maintain these pages, these social media handles professionally and keep them clean. Now the next section that I'm highlighting here is an important one. It is the About Me section. You will write a small paragraph paraphrasing yourself, giving a flavor, a gist of what you're all about to your reader, to the prospective employer. Over here, there are some ground rules to remember. Firstly, do not start off with your name, I am XYZ. No, you have already written your name at the top of the resume and you don't want to waste this precious space by again taking your name. Keep this section crisp, short and professional. Do not try to brag about yourself or do not try to show that what you want to do in life. I dream of being associated with a company that will give me the wings to fly. No, please do not do such kind of things. Keep it very professional, keep it very short. Use facts from your previous work experience. If possible, associate this with the job description, what the job demands, the job where you are trying to apply, what it demands, and try to put a couple of qualities in this About Me section. For example, if you are a chartered accountant and you're applying for a job, you can just start off by writing, I am a chartered accountant with 6+ years of experience and I have been working with the financial advisory services of my organization. In my current role, I have serviced clients across the globe, some of them also Fortune 500 companies. This will give a good flavor to the prospective employer that you have handled big clients, you have had 6+ years of experience. Now, if you have handled teams, you can also add in that I have handled teams of XYZ size, 20+ members, 30+ members, 50+ members during my experience or during my previous tenureship. Now, for example, if you're a sales manager, you can add some numbers that I have been the sales manager for so and so area for so and so product in my previous organization. I have been able to achieve sales worth of this much, this much, this much. Of course, you don't want to quote the exact number, but an approximate figure. Or you might want to say about one achievement that you have done, that I have managed to reach out to 100,000 new customers, so on and so forth. This will give a very quick gist of what you have been doing and what is something interesting about you that the employer should be excited about. Now, if you want to know what you should be writing about yourself, if you have some queries, some doubts, write in the comment section what do you think should be your About Me, and I will, once you post it, I will also go through it and let you know if that sounds good or you need to make any changes. But remember, you need to keep it factual. I will be looking forward to your comments in the comment section below. The next section was languages, but I'm going to skip that. Just ensure you write down all the languages that you know and also give that proficiency bar just to let the prospective employer know that you are fluent in so and so languages. This becomes even more important if you are hoping for a foreign placement or a foreign role and you know some good foreign language like German, Spanish, French or whatever, that you can let your employer know. Otherwise, it is a pretty standard section. The next section, which is very important once again, is your hobbies or your achievements. Now, you will ask that this is a different mix. Hobbies is one thing and achievements is one different thing. So what you need to do over here is either you keep your hobbies or keep your achievements. If you are keeping your professional achievements, then you just keep your professional achievements, especially if you are experienced professional. If you have been working for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, then you can just keep your achievements if you have something to brag about, or you can keep your hobbies and showcase the achievements that you have had while pursuing your hobbies. Now, don't write hobbies like listening to music. I mean, it is a fair hobby, but then everybody has it. If you have a specific genre of music that you love listening to, like I love listening to retro music, classical music, hip hop, write that and know about it. Do not fluff again, because the employer, the interviewer, might also be a person having the same taste in music and might want to ask you a question related to that. If you're mentioning book reading as your hobby, do not go and tell that I read tinkle for books. No, if you're reading books, if you're actually a reader, only then mention, because I have seen people ask this question. In fact, I myself, when I have interviewed people, I've asked them that what is the book that you're reading currently, and then they said, no, I'm not reading it currently, I read it long ago and this was the book, and then it is a total turn off. So use this column very wisely, because a lot of times these hobbies or these achievements become the point of discussion and can also create a favorable or negative impression in the mind of the interviewer. Now let's come to the business side of the resume, the work experience. This is for the experienced professionals, experienced people who are watching this video. Your work experience should be on the top, taking the maximum area of your resume, because that is going to be your selling point. Start off clearly by writing which organization are you currently working for, below that what is your job title or position that you are currently in, and then in 3 to 4 bullet points explain what have been your work areas, what is it that you're responsible for. If you have achieved something wonderful in that work area, also add that. For example, if you have won some award, you have won some regional award, national award, employee of the year, whatever, just write it down that awarded employer of the year for XYZ year for the so and so reason. Give a gist, and when you're giving the gist, keep in mind to read the job description of the prospective employer. For example, if you are a software engineer and you are looking or you are applying for a role which requires, say, knowledge of applications like artificial intelligence, Python, Java, Alteryx, whatever, you write down that my area of focus or my areas of responsibility included coding, included use of Java, use of Python. I have created so many projects, I have worked on so many projects involving the usage of Java, Python, C++, whatever it is, so that it is giving a flavor, a gist to the interviewer that yes, this was my job description, this is exactly what I needed, and this person is having it. The job description is asking Java and C++, and if you are mentioning Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint, then it is already game lost. Do not even apply for that job. Be very sure to match your job description to your resume, and that will actually help you get the best out of the reader. And in terms of the chronology, if you have worked with many companies in your life, then I would suggest mention details about the first 2 companies or the latest 2 companies, the current one and the immediate previous one, and after that you can just list down the name of the organizations that you have worked for, unless you have something really interesting to tell about or really important to tell about. Maximum number of organizations I would suggest you go in detail would be 3, not beyond that. So 2 plus the names of the organizations that you have previously worked, if there are many. If it is just 3, then you can still highlight the one which you are working currently in, a little bit about the previous one, and a little lesser about the third one. But that is all that you should be doing in this section. You should leave some space open for the interviewer to also ask you questions. One mistake that a lot of us make in this section is we write pages and pages. I have myself written pages and pages about what I have been doing in my current organization. That is the one which I am working in and wanting to leave and come to your organization. Nobody is interested in studying 2 or 3 pages. They just want to know whether you are fit for the role that they are looking at, that the interview is looking at, and that is all which is important. Of course, those 3 or 4 important bullet points will help the interviewer decide whether you are a fit candidate for the interview or not. So keep that in mind. Next comes your educational background or academics. Now again, if you are an experienced professional, you need not go all the way till 10th class and 12th class. You can just mention your most highest qualification. For example, if you are an MBA, then you write MBA first and then maybe BBA and BCom as your second academics. If you have any certifications which are relevant for that particular job, please mention them as well. If there are no certifications which are directly or indirectly relevant, then you might as well choose to skip it. Do not clutter this section with too many details, because again, if you are already 9 years, 10 years or even 5 years, 6 years experienced, not too many people would be interested in your academics, because you have already worked and there is something more recent to talk about. But if you are a fresher and you are going for interview for your first jobs, then this section becomes a little more important. What I would suggest for freshers to do is, right now I have maintained experience at the top and education at the second tier. You will have to reverse it. You will have to take your education first, put in maybe a table and show what has been your educational background, what has been the percentages and which year you have qualified. Also very clearly mention that if you have got any ranks or if you have got any medals or any accolades during your academics, please call it out very clearly, because that will show the sincerity levels, the dedication that you have had for your studies, and which will definitely add on a favorable impression to the recruiter. So for freshers who have just come out of colleges, your education should go on top and your experience should come in the second tier. Now a lot of you freshers will ask that if we are freshers, how will we have any experience? Well, fair point. But if you have had any experience of some internship, or if you have done some summer part-time jobs, or if you have taken any tuitions ever in your life, and or you're doing any other work which can count as some kind of an experience, something which is not casual, something which is a little more formal, a little more professional. So the last bit of the section is your skills or your initiatives. Now a lot of you might have some other extraordinary skills, or you might be a professional in some other field which you might want to highlight over here. You can highlight it over here. Or if you're having any other certifications which are not directly related to this job, you can also highlight it over here. If you have taken any initiatives in your previous organization, maybe you have organized a tour for 100 people, you have organized any kind of an event for so many people, or if in your college you were the head of your literary club or the sports captain, or you have been a part of any of the CSR activities in your previous organizations or in your colleges, all of that you can brag about over here. Why is this important? Because this again gives an idea to the recruiter that this person whom I am thinking about recruiting is much more than just a book reader. He or she is not just a technically strong person, but also in extracurricular activities this person is good. So tomorrow if my organization grows and then I have to organize an event, then this person is the go-to person. Or if I have a skill set which I require at some other stage, maybe you are a good host, you are a good speaker, so in an organizational event I can take you as a host. So these small things, even sports plays a very important role. If you are the cricket captain, a lot of organizations have their own corporate teams, have their own internal cricket teams, and having a good background about sports or playing sports or having such achievements might add that one extra mark for you which can see you through. I'm not saying that this will be the only reason why you will be recruited, but then this definitely could be a bonus for you. Now since you have been with me in this video till here, I am going to give you the pro tip. Actually 2 pro tips. 1, always ensure that your resume is not more than 1 page. It is a tedious task to read even 2 pages. If I have to turn the resume, then I have already lost my focus, I have already lost my confidence, my concentration in this resume. 1 page is sufficient for the reader to understand about you. If you're not able to convey the message in 1 page, then you really have to work harder to do that. So please keep it restricted to 1 page. That is pro tip number 1. Pro tip number 2, honesty is the best policy when it comes to drafting your resume. Not having a skill set is fine. Not knowing a particular ask that is mentioned in the job description is fine. The organization will take you in and they will teach that to you, but do not fake it. Because if you fake it, and if you are asked a question on that topic and if you're not able to answer it, then you will probably never again be called for an interview from that organization. So please maintain honesty. It's okay if you have not done too brilliantly in your life. Use good language to portray what you have done, but do not add facts which are not true. Do not misrepresent whatever you're writing in your resume. Now, this are the 2 pro tips. A lot of people also mention references. I personally don't prefer mentioning any references upfront. If somebody asks for references for their background check, you can give it at a later stage. But all in all, this is how your resume should look like. And if you want to take this editable version of the resume, although you will have to edit a lot and work hard to fill it in, but you can take it. In the description box, I will be leaving the link to a Google Drive SharePoint where you can go and you can actually download this Word file if you need. Otherwise, you yourself can browse through the templates. Good templates are there online. You can construct one just like I have constructed on a Word document. But this was my first video on the interview series. Next, what we will do is we will start understanding every single aspect of how an interview should go, right from group discussions to how different questions should be answered in an interview. If you have anything specific in mind that you want me to work on and make a video, please mention it in the comment box. Do not forget to like this video and please share it with somebody who's struggling to make a resume for themselves. If you like it really, then please also hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, guys. All the very best.